Okay, now, now I can talk about this game. This reminds me a little bit of my Breath of the Wild highlight, where I talk over the end credits to it. And I say that it's a little hard to sum up an experience like this. I mean, I played Breath of the Wild for about twice as long as I did this game, but um, uh, I don't know if you've been following me on Twitter or watching my previous streams of this game, but I fell in love with this game in a way that just doesn't happen with other shit. I mean, Legend of Zelda, we're talking about a 30-year relationship I have with that IP that goes back to like the formative years of my gaming. This is a brand new thing. I mean, I've known about it since probably 2017. I mean, I think I've been aware of it since it was new. And probably aware that it was very much worth playing since maybe 2019. And in the space of, the 55 or so hours I've played of it so far, I'm still going to do some stuff. I'm still going to do Grim, and I'm going to do Fragile Flower and Colosseum and maybe some Pantheons. I think I'm missing a Charm Notch somewhere. I'm still going to be playing this game more. I love it. I'm going to be playing Silk Song the day that it comes out. I was bragging on Twitter, I bought merch, I bought a T-shirt, I bought a plush, I bought all kinds of stuff, and I went and contrary to what I often just automatically do, I actually went and I bought official merch. And not because you can get a lot of like kind of bootleg T-shirts off of like QWERTY and other sites. I was like, nah, you know what? I want to go buy official. This is a small dev team. I want to go support this team in more ways now. I want to go spend money that will get in these people's pockets in more ways than just buying the game. And that's got to be a big, kind of review element in itself. But the world and the art and the music, the lore, the combat, the variety of gameplay experiences. I've said this a couple of times before. When you're 40 hours into a game and it does things where you're like, wow, I did not know this game was going to include a thing like this. That is something that major big time games don't deliver. Horizon Zero Dawn after 40 hours has fallen into a gameplay loop. I mean, even Breath of the Wild to some extent falls into a gameplay loop and occasionally throws in things that are out of the ordinary. I mean, I could, if you want to get into it, I can criticize Breath of the Wild a lot, even though it's like essentially my favorite game of all time, I think. But there is not a dearth of criticism to be had at Breath of the Wild. But for this game to be able to keep giving you new things that deep into it, because somebody said, "Oh, I really want to play this, but I don't know, a 2D game. It's gonna be hard for me to get into a 2D game." And I was like, "No. You like, I get it. I get what you're saying. I have that same instinct too, even though I shouldn't." The idea of like, how deep can a game like this go and all you got is platforms like that? It's like Mario. Like, how deep can you go with that kind of concept? But I think, if anything, like, this is a proof of concept for how deep and how wide and how broad you can go with this kind of, perspective. Because all we're talking about is the perspective. The perspective is side on. They call it 2D as opposed to isometric or fully three-dimensional or whatever. You got a side on view. And I do think that this is one of the best examples of how you take that limitation, because it is a limitation, and just do essentially everything that a game without those limitations does. Find creative ways to work around that one limitation. And yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with it. It's over, and like I said, I'm still going to play some stuff, but my obsession with it is going to continue. I'm going to go watch a whole bunch of lore videos. I want to do some fan art. Something about this game grabbed me, and it is an amalgam of things. I think that, or a gestalt. I think that it's been probably been said about this game before that it doesn't do any one thing the best that's ever been done, but every single thing it does is in such a high quality that altogether it is probably one of, if not the best example of Metroidvania, that there is.